Near the River Nile, the pyramids have been silent witnesses to the sun's rising for over 3,500 years. The Colosseum in Rome stands empty. Some 1,900 years ago, it resounded to crowds cheering gladiators in combat. A wall carving, a clay cylinder, an ancient warrior. Why should artifacts and ruins interest us today? Relics of the past are closely tied to a book that claims divine origin. Faithful men of God began to write the Bible some 3,500 years ago. It is actually a collection of books that gives us prophecy, history written in advance. But is it reliable? And how can it help us today? To answer, let's examine some prophetic statements found in the Bible. For example, 2,600 years ago, the Bible writer Daniel saw in a dream the rise and fall of 5 world powers, 4 of them before they even existed. These world powers would have a direct impact on God's people down to our day. But how did Daniel and other prophets get their information? The Bible answers at Daniel 2:28.
There exists a God in the heavens who is a revealer of secrets.
The source of the Bible's reliable information is its author, Jehovah God. Archaeological discoveries demonstrate the reliability of Bible prophecy and the accuracy of Bible history. To verify this, let's consider the march of some world powers. What was the first world power that ruled over God's people, the Israelites? Egypt, referred to more than 700 times in the Bible. Does the Bible paint an accurate picture of ancient Egypt? 2 Chronicles 12:2 states,
It came about in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak, the king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem.
What does history establish? The Egyptians were mighty warriors, and they left records of their military campaigns. An inscription in the temple at Karnak, Egypt, lists the cities that Egyptian pharaoh Shishak captured in Israel. As the Bible indicated, the Egyptians were truly a mighty military power. The Nile, the Earth's longest river, has always been Egypt's lifeline. The Bible books of Genesis and Exodus accurately describe the Nile as Egypt's main source of food and water. The book of Numbers says that the Israelites, wandering in the desert, longed for the variety of food they left behind in Egypt. Paintings in tombs show life in ancient Egypt just as the Bible's first writer Moses described it. A country abounding in food. How did the Egyptian religion differ from that of the Israelites? The rulers were viewed as gods. Thus, haughty Pharaoh disdained the Israelite god Jehovah.
Who is Jehovah, so that I should obey his voice? I do not know Jehovah at all.
Pharaoh was not the only god the Egyptians worshipped. The names of 740 other gods were found in the tomb of Pharaoh Thutmose III. Many of their gods had human bodies and animal heads. It is easy to understand why Jehovah banned the use of images in worship, as stated at Deuteronomy 4:16 through 19.
That you may not act ruinously and make for yourselves a carved image, the form of any symbol, the representation of any beast that is in the earth, any winged bird that flies in the heavens, of any fish that is in the waters under the earth, and actually get seduced and bowed down to them and serve them.
The Egyptians also worshipped triads, or groups of three gods. They used the cross or ankh, a symbol of life. And they believed in the immortality of the soul. What became of Egypt as a world power? God's prophet foretold its destruction at Isaiah 19:3 and 4.
They will be certain to resort to the valueless gods, and I will deliver up Egypt into the hand of a hard master.
Did this prophecy come true? A cuneiform inscription shows the Assyrian king Esarhaddon boasting of his conquest of Egypt.
I fought bloody battles against Tirhakah. 5 times I hit him with my arrows.
Thus, Egypt's vast wealth and military might could not stop the fulfillment of God's prophecy. The Bible, accurate and reliable. What was the second world power in the Bible? Assyria, a cruel and ruthless nation. The founder of its capital city, Nineveh, was Nimrod, described in Genesis as a mighty hunter in opposition to Jehovah. The Assyrians loved to hunt. Ashurbanipal, known in the Bible as Asenath, hunts lions that have been captured, imported, and later released. A British museum catalogue states, "The hunt itself was often more of a massacre than a contest." Animals were not their only prey. The Assyrians also hunted humans in ruthless warfare. The Bible writer Nahum refers to Nineveh as the city of bloodshed. How true that was. Soldiers play catch with human heads. Musicians entertain at a peaceful garden party held by King Ashurbanipal. But what hangs in a nearby tree? The head of Teman, the king of Elam. Assyrian king Ashurnasirpal boasted,
Many captives from among them I burn with fire. From some I cut off their noses, their ears, and their fingers. Of many I put out the eyes. I made one pillar of the living and another of heads.
a soldier is rewarded for his pile of enemy heads. Because of Assyria's violence and pagan religion, Nahum warned,
Nineveh has been despoiled. A sword will cut you off. There is no relief for your catastrophe.
Assyria plundered many cities. Then in 632 BCE, Nineveh itself was destroyed. For centuries, its location was forgotten. Critics ridiculed the Bible's account of Nineveh. In 1847, an English archaeologist discovered Nineveh's ruins. His sketches depict Sennacherib's palace, the same Sennacherib named 13 times in the Bible. But more was to come. Isaiah mentions Sargon, a king of Assyria. Again, critics claimed the Bible was wrong, since there was no other proof of his existence. The Bible's accurate history was confirmed when archaeologists uncovered Sargon's 200-room palace at Khorsabad. He is now one of the best-known kings of Assyria.